Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. Looks like today's the day that the siding gets finished. It is very, very frosty out there. Luckily, I have everything cut and I don't have to worry about that. The panel that's on the grass is just covered in thick frost. It would be ultra hard to work with that, but I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, look at the gator windshield. So today, I need to get this. This is the first panel that goes up. This is the panel that goes up into the corner right here. I got to get this cut, but I need something as a backer because this is awful flimsy. When I get this cut, this could actually bend while I'm cutting it. I either need a clamp down or some kind of a backer attached to it. While I'm over there, I also need to cut the wooden backers for the scuppers. Let's go show you what that looks like. Each one of these needs wood strips all the way around them. That's going to take a while, so I got to really get moving on that. I don't have to do much to them. I think I just need to cut them to length. I might cut them to width, but I don't know. See, that's where that first piece goes. Goes up and around, and it just ends at the end of that furring strip right there. So it's just a tiny piece. Then this big long piece just goes straight on, hopefully, if everything's cut right. Then once that's done, the cap gets put on. And if you didn't see yesterday's video is actually still uploading. There was a problem at YouTube, and after a full night it was still only 17% uploaded, so I had to hose it and start over. You could see the cap up there. Looks real nice. It's not exactly in place, it's just sitting there, but soon it will be attached. So let's get a ladder set up, measure for that wood, and get over to the shed and get that stuff done. All right, here's the trim pieces I need. I need 3 of those, and 6 of those, and 3 of those. These are just for something to screw the trim to, and on places like that, it's going to have aluminum trim that's painted black, but on these, it's going to have solid copper trim with copper screws. It's going to be really slick looking. And then these get a profile cut on them, and I can't do that until I get the brackets up. These are going to have copper gutters as well. It's going to be pretty slick. All right, let's go get this stuff cut. This is why it takes so long to get stuff done. If you leave any of this tin out, this frost is just murder to deal with. And if you wait for the sun to burn it off, it can get close to noon before you can get to work. And it's almost the shortest day of the year. So it gets dark at like 3:30 or so. It starts darkening up. So luckily I have everything cut and ready to go. Just got to get this blocking in. All right, I got my little pieces of wood cut, but look at that. It's full of frost. The piece of wood was still sitting in the back of the truck from when I went and got it. So I'm going to put these pieces, I mean, there's not many of them. Where's the rest of them? Got another little stack somewhere. This is from wood that was in here, so it's fine. But I'm going to go put these in front of the heater, let them thaw out a little bit. I have to pre-drill all of these, and these really little ones, I don't know. I'm trying to decide where the screw pattern's going to be on the trim, because if I put screws in this that are going to be in the way, it's just a pain in the ass. All right, well, I'll figure that out later. I'm going to get these in front of the heater and then try to find my bender for the tin. Okay, I just searched for about 15-20 minutes up in the mezzanine and down in here for my tin bending tool and could not find it. So I'm going to try foam with Gorilla Tape. I'm just going to tape down both edges and then tape up further a little bit and try that. The blade should just cut right into this super easy, so that shouldn't be a problem. I would use wood, but the blade is going to dead end down into the wood, and I don't have any thin wood, so I think this will work. So we're going to go with this, get that piece cut, and get it put up. For those of you who aren't familiar with jigsaws, these cut on the upstroke, and when you have little material, especially on this side, when your material is thin like this and it's very narrow like this, immediately upon cutting into this, it's going to want to yank it up, and it could bend or just destroy the whole thing right away. So I'm hoping this tape holds it down so I can make these two cuts. This cut right here, I'll just drill a hole and get the saw in there. That should be fine. But it's these two I'm worried about. So with that said, let's give it a try. Bada bing, bada boom. Now for the tiny side here. Alright, I went and test fitted it, and it is perfect. It's just kind of sagging right now because I have no screws in it. I was thinking, see, it only gets screws on that right side through the next piece. The next piece overlaps that, so I can't put any screws in there. I can put screws on the other side, but they only go, what is it? It only gets 2 screws on the other side. The top screw does not go in on the other side because it'll go through the copper, and that'll cause galvanic reaction, and I don't want that. So instead of putting 2 screws in, I'm just going to leave this loose. We'll get this other one in place, and I can adjust that from underneath the other one, and then get a perfect fit, and then get the 3 screws in through both of them, and then get that last couple on the other side. So what I need to do is get the ladders set up, get that screw for measuring out of there, and go get my wife, and we'll get this next piece up. Hopefully them holes are all cut in the right spot. So I got my ladders all set up. I'm all ready to go. I'm gonna get Cindy. We're gonna get this panel, bring it out through the other door, come around, get it all in there and stuff. And I forgot to get the wood around the scuppers. So now these ladders are in the wrong spot, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go get that wood and pre-drill it and get those all in. Then I'm gonna set this up like this again. See the way I have it set up. Cindy's gonna go on one ladder, I'm gonna go on the other. We're gonna lift that thing up, get it over the 2 scuppers that were near. Then I'm gonna rush down and get it on the last scupper, and then I'll get a screw in it somewhere. It should be fairly easy as long as the holes are in the right place, and I don't know that yet. But let's get that wood in there first. All right, that's it. All the panels are in. I just got to throw some screws into that panel down there. And I will go around and adjust some of these screws. Like you could see probably that one right there. If it's too tight, it'll dimple in the metal. And if you loosen that up a bit, it'll flatten out again. I need to do that here and there, but other than that, it looks really good. Once I get the trim in, like I said, the scuppers up there are going to have copper trim with copper screws holding it in. That's going to look really sharp. And then there's going to be copper brackets and a copper gutter that comes over to about here, and then it's going to have a rain chain coming down to here. And then from here, I'm going to get it over somehow, either in a pipe or possibly a little stream, and take it to where the gray water's going. The gray water currently comes out somewhere right over here. That's going to go back underground and go under the road right there, and it's going to spill out onto rocks over in the Oak Savannah restoration area. The rocks are all right there, got a big pile of them. That's a project for next summer. So at some point, I'll have to look for a copper chain. I don't know if I'll be able to find one or not, but that would be kind of cool. All right, so that is roughly it. I just got to come back and throw them screws in. I'm not going to show that. And like I said, loosen some of the screws. I'm going to have to drill out some. A lot of little detail stuff, but it doesn't need to happen right now. For all intents and purposes, this is completely installed. Now I just have to get this cap on. Here's the cap here, which involves a bit of bending in the corners, and I can't find my bending tool, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to score that without cutting through the plastic so I can bend it nice and straight. That shouldn't be too hard. Another thing I have to do is get up onto that parapet, and there's a few lumps here and there. I just got to take a chisel and cut them off so that this sits flat. All right, I'm going to go have lunch and then get back at this. All right, just had a little bit of lunch and I'm back at it. So this panel right here is screwed in at the top. It has none of its other screws. I'm going to get all of the screws in this panel, and then that's pretty much it for the siding. I want to start working on that parapet top, but first I need to get all of this tin that's scattered around. Some of it I'll cut shorter and just get rid of it, but anything that can be reused I'm going to put alongside of the greenhouse there, and I'll probably use all this stuff at some point for a wood shed. So let me get the screws in here and then we'll clean the place up. Ta-da! All the screws are in, all the panels are in. The siding is done for this year. I'm going to be doing some trim and detail work in the spring, but I have no more time for this year, except for the cap. I'll be putting the cap on tomorrow, and the only difference between today and tomorrow is it's going to be a bit windier tomorrow. I got these in here so that they don't get all frosty tonight. I'm going to start first thing in the morning on this. I started cleaning up. I've been cleaning, I don't know, maybe an hour, hour and a half. And when I was moving the tin, I moved all the tin behind the greenhouse here. Let me show you that. I cut a couple of them into more manageable pieces because they were really skinny, but the rest of them I just hauled over here, and I kind of tweaked my back a little bit doing it, so I'm gonna go take some aspirin and sit for the rest of the day, work on something on the computer. So I started to get this area cleaned up. I'll get that ladder tomorrow. I got to go put the ladders away. I got the back of the Gator full of little tin scraps that are going to go into the truck. But I'm going to give you a walk around here. Them scuppers, the holes came out about as perfect as you could want. That came out really well. And although that vent looks sloppy, it looks like there's a big hole, that has a bump out, and once that's painted next year, that's going to look really nice as well. Yeah, this is going to look pretty cool. I was hoping for kind of an industrial look, and that's what I got. I'm still not in love with the color, but it's kind of growing on me. It's not that bad. All right, let's do a walk around. See it from all sides. Of course, tomorrow it gets the cap on the parapet, and then next year I'll put this corner trim in. But it looks pretty nice. A little bit hard to see in this harsh winter sun, but you can see it a little better from here. Yeah, that looks real nice. Once I do that last bit of detailing, I think this is going to look fantastic. So I got to get back here, put that makeshift porch back under the door, get the ladder out of here. This firewood rack is going to go on the other side, right next to the firewood there. And, oh, Cindy found something over here. We have some breakage on our septic system. Izzy, where's your ball? Go get your ball. How are we going to play ball without a ball? We were wondering about why this area is green, and it never even dawned on me that this was leaking. This is an inspection port, and I'm not sure if the 4-inch pipe was ever connected to anything, but there's an 1.5 or 2-inch pipe inside of there. I don't want to take this out too many times. But you can see, come on. That just fell right out last time. This was hit by the lawnmower or something, and it's broke down there. So in the spring, I'm going to have to, yeah, see, this was never connected to anything, the 4-inch pipe. It was just over that, and at some point, it got hit. And before the end of that gets filled up with anything, I'm going to have to splice in a new pipe on that, and then I'll make it flush so that it doesn't get hit anymore. So that explains the real nice green grass right here. So, like I said, parapet goes on tomorrow, and if I don't have any problems with folding, I just got to fold 2 little pieces, but it's fairly long. If I don't have issues with that, I just got to take a chisel along the top and quickly flush it up a little bit. Then it gets buttered with water stop after the joints are cut and fit. Then it's basically just pressed into place and held in with a couple screws. Yeah, that looks really good. I'll be so glad once that parapet's on. But like I said, that's not super important. If I wanted to, I could just butter the top of that with the water stop and it would be fine for the winter. But I will get the parapet cap on and she will be done for good. All right, so if you want to see that final part of the siding, that'll be coming tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.